Hello and welcome to the next episode of Off the Bench with RGT. Today is a very special one again because I've got another school friend of mine, Parth, on the show, and we will be discussing some of the key highlights of Manchester United's performance this season. Mr. Parth Poddar, how do you feel?
Thank you, Ronald. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to be on this podcast, really.
I love the
No, I
sarcasm
mean
there.
it. I'm so proud of you for finally doing this. Like it's insane. Like
I
we've been
know, I
thinking
know.
about this for so long.
Yes, we have, and I'm glad that you are one of my first guests on the show as well. We've been discussing this, I think, since post school time when we were
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
our CA. I mean, briefly. I was
At
doing it
least 15
briefly.
years back, before
Yes,
podcasts were a thing.
yes, exactly. So yeah, let me to the people who are going to watch this, let me quickly introduce my friendship with Parth. So Parth and I go years back. We I think met in class five, if I'm not wrong, and our friendship has only grown right over the years. And I think it's predominantly been through sports. We talk only about sports, I feel, which is a good and bad thing, however you want to put it. But I'm glad we found that connect to kind of keep us going over the years. He's turned out to be one of my best friends, and uh, the bond is absolutely too strong to ever break, right? So that's Parth and my friendship. How anything you
No,
want to
but
add, Parth?
to add to that, it is sports plus whatever auntie used to feed me. So a large contribution is
Fair enough.
goes to her as well.
Yes. Backstory: I mean, Parth used to come to my house after school for accounts tuition, and he would secretly ask my mom to make him omelets because he couldn't have that at home. So it was yeah, that's actually how it started. You're right, very valid point. And then we'd go down to play football and cricket. And funny story, Parth actually learned how to play cricket without knowing which hand he bats with. He came to play cricket one day and he's like, "Oh, I bat left-handed." I was like, "What?" He had no idea.
No, but I think my main skill in cricket is fielding. Batting, bowling is fine, right? Like, I
I
enjoy
agree.
fielding the most. So.
I agree. I mean, we used to play on cement and you would dive like it's, I don't know, mud. Like that was crazy. Okay, so yeah, as everyone can see, Parth and I are both die-hard United fans. I am a little embarrassed to take the logo out right now this season, but it is what it is. He's hiding his logo as well. But yeah, I mean, we are big United fans. I think that's what we have in common for sure. And what we are going to discuss today is some of the key highlights of United season this year. It's not been a great season. I think all of us agree with that. He's already shaking his head. I am shaking my head behind the smiles, or maybe sarcastic smiles to cover it. Yeah, it's been a horrible season, but it is what it is, right? So just thought I'll get Parth on the show and we'll discuss what our views are according to what went wrong, right? And some of the few things that went right for United this year. So the first thing, I mean, where can we start? It's the obvious one, the injuries, right?
Injuries.
It's been horrible. I think we had 54 plus injuries. So, yeah, what are your thoughts, comments, views on that part?
So I think, see, this injury situation is ridiculous. Like I don't think it is.
Yeah,
It's unprecedented, right? Every week we hear a new injury is coming. I'm sure before the FA Cup final, two, three players are going to get injured. So not looking forward to that, but it's just ridiculous. We lost our main centre backs. We thank God we signed Johnny Evans, right? I think he's the signing of the season,
seriously.
honestly,
Yeah,
ahead of
honestly.
everyone else. So Licha, who is one of our most critical players, has been injured throughout the season. We've gone
Yeah.
through the whole season without a left back. I don't know. I think Malasia has disappeared. He's been captured by aliens because no one's seen him for like a good 6 months. Where is he gone? It's
I
ridiculous.
know. He went off social media as well, right? So no one has any idea. And the fact is, ETH hasn't even disclosed his injury, right? I think he's been pretty quiet about injuries throughout the season, but eventually he's disclosed everyone's except Malassia's. The
Yeah.
last I heard was he was out with Rashford somewhere, and then in a hotel room he hit his knee against the corner of the bed and hurt one knee. I don't know how true that is, but that is the last thing I heard. But I mean, just picking up on your point, I think if we hadn't signed Johnny Evans, we would have probably been close to the relegation zone. And I'm serious when I say that,
100%.
right?
100%.
I still remember that game against Liverpool away when we drew 0-0. Johnny Evans had a super game, right? And I think
Yeah.
that if you remember that long ball pass to Bruno against Burnley away when Bruno scored on the volley, like
Yeah.
that's crazy, right? Johnny Evans doing
But
that.
I still think the best centre back performance of the season was Bruno against Liverpool. Nothing beats that.
The
So
FA Cup game, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's crazy. Like you don't expect that ever. But I think Pogba did that once for Mourinho as well. If you remember, he played centre back. So I don't know how well that went, but at least Bruno
Yeah.
was going. But yeah, just picking up on that point, how much do you think Licha and Shaw's injuries have actually affected us gameplay type?
So Ten Hag, see all these Dutch coaches, right? They want a left-footed centre back. I remember Van Gaal crying about it in every single press conference for at least a year. So they
Yeah.
have these patterns of play, these angles of passing, which only works when you have a left-sided centre back or a left-footed defender on that side, right? And if you see last year, I feel that has also impacted our overall game. Like for example, Shaw and Rashford were a terrific partnership. So a large part of Rashford's form this season, I feel, is down to us not having a left-sided player at all there.
Yeah,
Evans
I
tries to fill
agree.
in, but not good enough, right?
Who,
Not
sorry?
his fault.
Who?
Evans,
Yeah,
Evans
Evans is.
tried.
Yeah, he's see. I mean, we've watched United enough. We watched football enough to know Johnny Evans is not a modern day centre back. He's an olden
Exactly.
day proper centre back. You can't expect him when he's about to retire to learn how to play passes through the line and make
Exactly.
overlapping runs and all of that. Right? That's not going to happen. He can't step into midfield. We can't expect him to do that. But I think one thing which has really affected us because of Shaw and Martinez is our play from the back. You know, when our gameplay kind of
Hmm.
starts, how Licha is so confident in beating the opposition's press and just take the ball forward comfortably and pass it to the next midfielder or striker, right?
And he breaks a line in midfield when he passes it. He passes it so that one midfielder's out of the game, like from the opposition.
Yeah, yeah. And
Which
I think,
yeah.
sorry, you were
Maguire
saying?
passes in slow motion. He tries to do the same thing, but he does it so slowly that everyone has time to get back to position.
Agreed, but I genuinely feel Maguire's passing has improved a lot this year. If you compare his passing to previous years, when he would pass to the referee or the opponent half the time, he has learned quite a bit. And I genuinely think he's been one of our better players this season. I'm not lying. I know in the
Yeah,
summer we were
that's
crying
fine,
out.
but I don't think he's top quality, right? Like he's not top quality. He's
So
okay. He should go to Everton. He should go to
would you
Everton.
sell him this summer if a bid came in?
100%. 100%. 50 million to Everton.
50 million is not happening. That club is already in debt, I think. They're looking for new ownership, but I don't think 50 million is happening. And if
If,
David
if
Moyes
he
stayed
goes
at
to
West Ham, he'll go
Everton,
there.
if he goes to Everton, then they'll have Tarkowski and Maguire both essentially are the same player. So they'll
Yeah,
have two of those.
basically. Basically. No, I think one point that you said very rightly, right, about Shaw affecting Rashford's form. I think that's something which we probably should discuss next. Those overlapping runs that he makes, right, or used to make last year, really help Rashford. And I think that always helps a winger of Rashford's quality. And he's not had that at all this season. I don't think Bissaka, Dalo, or even Region, when we had Region, didn't really do that very well. And that's affected Rashford's cutting in, taking a shot, etc. He doesn't do that anymore.
But I think it's more than that for Rashford. He just doesn't look happy. Like something's wrong with him. Personal, maybe too
Yeah.
much expectation because he scored 30 goals 6 months back.
Yeah, the
Something has
decline
happened
is
to him.
unreal. It's unreal. Like
Yeah.
from 30 goals to you'd expect 40, right? You'd expect the main person, but I
Yeah.
don't know what's happened. You're right. He doesn't smile. Even when he scores, he doesn't smile nowadays. So I don't know
Yeah.
what's wrong.
There were many
But
personal issues that came, like he had some people close to him passing away. So maybe those things this season.
and I
But
just
with,
feel he's. I mean, I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but he gets a lot of stick from the media. I don't know if you noticed that. Like when people, he did an interview with the Players Tribune a couple of months back when he came
yeah,
out and
yeah,
said, "You can question everything about me. You can say I've had a bad season,
yeah.
but don't question my loyalty to the club."
Which
And
is
I
true,
kind of,
which is true.
I agree with that, right? That guy
Yeah.
has been at the club, I think, since he was 8 years old. He's sacrificed everything. His mom sacrificed everything for the club. So when that pressure, but I guess at that level you have to deal with this pressure as well,
No,
right?
no,
What
no.
do
I
you
think he fucked with the politicians and embarrassed them, so they're out to get him. That is the only reason. They're influencing the paper. So
Honestly, we don't know. But yeah, apart from Rashford, I think the shining light in Rashford's absence has actually been Garnacho on the wing, right?
yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
See, Garnacho has been insane this season. Like, if he continues this form, this growth, he'll be one of our key players. He's going to be another Ronaldo in 5 years who's won the Ballon d'Or and wants to leave for Madrid. I can
Yeah.
already see that coming. Very high
And I
possibility
think he
of that
said he
happening.
likes Real Madrid quite a bit as well.
Yeah, of course.
He's
All
mentioned.
this, yeah. He said it many times that that's why all the Barca players hate him, right? Like they when he goes to even the national camp
Yeah.
and he keeps saying, "I like Ronaldo more than Messi."
Yeah, and I think Di Maria came out and said also, right, that only thing I don't like about Garnacho is he does Ronaldo celebrations and not Messi celebrations, or something like that. He said.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, I
these
think
three
he
have
has.
a great future. Like that photograph of Garnacho, Mainu, Hoyland sitting,
Yeah,
they are the
yeah,
spine of our future team, right? We have to keep them together. We have to make sure that we build around these guys.
yeah,
And obviously keeping a few older players around as well, like Bruno. I feel Bruno
yeah,
is the easily the best player in our squad, the leader. And everything has to go through him now. Like he needs and if
yeah,
you let him, he will ensure that these guys reach the top level.
yeah. Because his
So that structure
mentality is
has to be
there as
put in
well.
place.
Yeah, I agree. I
Exactly.
agree. And I think one thing which I just hope Garnacho, Mainu, and Hoyland keep their feet on the ground. That's my only worry because we saw what
Garnacho,
happened with
doubtful.
Great Garnacho. I'm hoping he keeps his feet on the ground because he did something on social media a couple of weeks back as well, right?
Yeah.
He liked someone's
He,
post
he
about
liked a
Ten Hag.
tweet saying ETH is blaming the defeat on him or something like that.
Yeah, so that's. But if they keep their feet on the ground, I mean, honestly, they can reach levels that we can't even think about. I think Kobe Mainu is probably the shining light of this season for United. I know a lot of people say, oh, he might be a one season wonder, but I think he's more than that. What are your views on him?
No. He is obviously going to. No, one season wonder is when someone comes in and scores 15 fluke goals. He's not
Yeah,
done that. He's played consistently at a high level, like simple things like passing well, turning well, beating
yeah,
the press well, knowing where to be positioned. So he's doing those things right. One season wonder is someone who comes in and scores some fluke goals, right? Like
yeah, yeah.
Darwin Nunez or someone like that, right? So
Wow,
it's
big
not.
call there, Parth.
Yeah.
No, but you think he gives you Bellingham vibes?
Not really. He doesn't give me the superstar vibes. He gives me more Paul Scholes vibe than Beckham vibes. So I think Bellingham is more Beckham. He's more Scholes.
Okay, you mean like as a character, not just skill.
Yeah,
You mean as a
exactly.
character.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Like
yeah.
he's
Because
quiet. He likes to be in the background, do the simple things well, keep the team taking over. He doesn't want to go and score 15 goals, 10 goals. Doesn't want to be the main person in the team, right? He's an enabler for the rest of the team to do really well.
yeah, and
And
I think
probably
that's
more
what we
important
want.
than other people.
Yeah, exactly. That's. I
Yeah.
mean, if you think about our recruitment since Ferguson, right? We've just gone, I don't know, downhill, because we just tried signing superstars, right? And if you think about it, I was thinking about it earlier today. The players that we've signed over the last 10 years, the ones that are coming out on top now are the small investments that we made a couple of years back. None of us thought Diego Dalu would reach where he's reached now. You
Yeah.
know that. But that was shrewd business, in my opinion, right? So I think that path of recruitment is probably smarter, and I hope Ineos kind of do that right now. Get young, talented players and train them to become superstars.
If you think about it, our best signing has been Bruno. And Bruno was not a superstar, big name signing.
Not at all.
He was like
Not at
40,
all.
50 million from the Portuguese league, which is fine, right? 50 million
Yeah.
right now these days
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
standard. And he's been by far the best signing. We need more Bruno type signings where
I agree.
we
I
don't buy
agree.
a famous name. We go to a lesser known league and pick their best players.
Fair, fair. I hear you, but I don't think there are too many Bruno type players out there. But again, our scouts might know much better than us. But
Maybe
I
not,
hear you.
honestly. Honestly, maybe not.
Honestly, yeah, honestly, our recruitment is crazy. But having said that, I think Amad Diallo was smart business a couple of years back as well. Do you think he can
Yeah,
reach
but
the ceiling?
40 million 2 years back for someone who's 17 who's playing after 3 years. I don't know.
But
Maybe that was
wasn't it
not the best
19
way to spend
plus
your money.
add-ons? I think it was a plus add-ons, no?
No,
Like in a couple of years or something like
okay,
that, or was
I
it
don't know.
40 upfront?
No, there is 20 million for sure guaranteed, and I think 20 million easily achievable add-ons. So I don't know.
Okay. So would you
But
keep
big
him as
investment
your?
for an academy player who's going on loan for 2 3 years.
Again, that was, in my opinion, very stupid business in terms of getting someone and then loaning him like that randomly without really having a plan. So that's, if even if we
Exactly.
are to, even if we are to loan players, I have no problem with that. But there needs to be a plan or a path built out for that player, right? Ahmad didn't know.
Yeah.
Every summer he was like, "Where is Ahmad going?" Like there was no plan.
Yeah. The only player we had a proper plan for development was Mason Greenwood, and we all know where that went.
No, I mean, I am so sad every time I just hear his name because that guy would have been world class. Like I know he would have
Yeah.
been world class if he just
Yeah.
continued focusing on the field, I guess. Yeah, but
Yeah.
do you also feel that not having a world class striker for the last 10 years has really impacted United?
We've not had a striker only for the last 10 years, more or less. Forget
Yeah,
world class.
yeah.
No proper striker who can start every game and lead the team. Like, we've tried so many different things, but it's always been 30-year-old pluses. There is no focal point in the team. Hoyland can be that, but he's too young, right? It's his first season. This is the first maybe
Yeah,
chance we have getting this right. But
yeah,
but to be fair, I was really excited when Falcao and like we had that season with Di Maria Falcao when he bought
yeah.
everyone, and that just didn't work.
See, United also, no, Parth, I feel they were never a club of buying superstars. I mean, we know that when we grew up, we barely bought a big name, right? When we bought Van Persie, we were like, oh my God, we've got a big name from from a rival, right? So that was big news for us. But then that path of getting Di Maria, Falcao, Schweinsteiger, all of that was never the United way. Even that Alexis Sanchez transfer, that was just ridiculous. I know
To
both
be
of us were
honest, I was
excited.
super excited.
Agreed, agreed.
We-
See, we as fans, which football fan would not want a superstar to join their club? They would.
yeah,
But it's just not in the club's DNA. Like that Sanchez signing made zero sense to me. Even though I was excited, I was like, where is he going to play? Because Lukaku was playing as striker.
yeah. That fucked up
But
Martial's career. Martial, I remember, was in great form that time, and when
yeah,
Sanchez came, he just dropped off.
yeah, true, true. And I think there was a time we had Lukaku, Zlatan, Martial, and Sanchez. Till we got rid of Sanchez and Lukaku in the same summer, right? They
And I
went to
think
Inter.
Rooney as well.
Rooney's last year, yeah, that's what I mean. That
Yeah.
makes zero sense, zero sense. But I mean, on that note, Hoyland has a future, in my opinion. He can reach the heights if he's again trained properly and keeps his feet on the ground. But do you feel like he needs a, I don't know, slightly more experienced striker next year to come and guide him?
I don't know, not necessarily, right? Like if you set up the system properly and it is clear what he needs to do, I don't understand how having a senior striker will help him. Will just take away from his game time.
No, but the reason I asked that is because, see,
Yeah,
now when he's tired, there's no one sub to come on as a substitute, right? So you
yeah.
get some. So if you have someone more experienced, my question to you is, would Hoyland at least learn of him little bit? I don't know because this guy is young. Like if
Normally you
you
do
have,
that for academy, right? Like how we've always done it is we have a striker and when they are tired, we get on an academy person to try and be them. For
yeah,
example,
but
in 7, 8, 8, 9, when Rooney was a striker,
yeah,
who was who was the
Rooney,
Makeda was coming out, all these guys like
yeah,
were coming
yeah,
on, right? Like
I
it was
hear you,
always a that's where you build it. I don't
I
know.
hear you.
Or we have another superstar who's willing, like really good player who's willing to sit on the bench like Ole and all these guys were.
Yeah. So that's what I was reading a couple of days back as well. Can you get like a Tony or a Watkins to come in and I don't know play with Hoyland because they are like 28, 29 anyway, so they
But
have to
they'll play
feel
every
like.
game then. They'll play every game and Holland won't play. Like it
You think
is.
Tony is better than Hoyland that he'll play every game?
And for now, yes, of course. Right now he is. You don't know in a couple of years, but of course right now he's better than Holland.
Yeah. Okay, to the next point, what do you feel about Casemiro's decline? Honestly, like that's something is just from
Yeah.
nowhere. Last
No, I
season, you
was
thought,
I was thinking about this. I think the main problem with Casemiro is these players who won everything and who you used to winning or playing for a title every year. Once the chance to win the title goes, they just lose interest in the season. Like him, Varane. There's nothing to play for him, right? Why is he playing in a league game when he can't win the title?
Yeah, but you think when they moved to United 2 3 years back, United wanted looking like winning a title then either. So they probably knew that, right? The next few years is not going to be title winning for the club.
No, I don't know. Maybe that time we had Ronaldo. I think the what is always sold to these guys is we'll win the league, right?
True, true. But I mean, game wise, I feel. Do you think Fred leaving has impacted Casemiro a little bit? I think so. That's
Definitely.
why.
Now he can't cover the ground anymore fast enough. And Fred
Exactly.
used to actually cover like 70-80% of what he used to do. So
Yeah, I
it's
think
a
that
big,
was
big loss.
very, yeah, very, very stupid business on United's part last time as well. Fred was the only one midfielder who covered ground like fast, right? If you remember that City game we won at Old Trafford last year, bro,
Yeah,
Fred like
all the
had
counters.
Rodri and De Bruyne up his sleeve, right? So I think Casemiro's also been that type of player for Real Madrid where he's not have to cover ground ever. He's not because
Yeah,
Modric and Valverde would cover ground for him, right? So he would just I don't know support the defense, I guess, and then play his long balls. But here he's trying to do that, but there's so much space and Premier League is faster than La Liga. Like he can't keep up if he doesn't have a partner.
yeah. And it's more spread out. It's not as tactical through the center. So
Yeah,
he has to go wide, come in. So there's just too much ground for him to cover. Also, he's getting old. Like you can tell he's
yeah,
getting old and slow.
yeah, yeah. So would you keep him this summer or let him go?
I'd keep him. I'd keep him. He'll be
You'd
good,
keep
at
him.
least tactically, to learn off.
So you'd keep him as the number two CDM basically,
Exactly.
and then get a
Or when
young
you want to
guy
play
in.
two CDMs, right? You play him and someone another CDM.
Yeah, I feel keeping him for another year for the last year of his contract and getting someone in like I don't know Joao Neves or someone might be decent. The reason I say
Yeah,
that is because if you remember how Rodri became big at City, he had Fernandinho to learn off. That must have really helped him.
exactly.
So getting a young player in and getting Casemiro to guide him might be great. Great. I mean, and who has been your player of the season for United? I know mine, but I wanted to ask you quickly
Sorry,
discuss
I
that.
missed that. Who has?
Who has been your United player of the season?
I think two, three people come close. First is see Garnacho is obviously has had a terrific season. Mainu
37
has
games
had
he
a
started, right? Yeah.
Mainu has had a terrific season. Dilo has done exceptionally well, and Bruno's numbers, if you see again in the last 6 7 game weeks, have just again become ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
it's one of
my
those four. I'd pick Mainu. Personally, I would pick
you
Mainu.
pick Mainu even though his season started in November.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. He's played every single. Can you imagine as a 19-year-old coming in and
Yeah,
starting all of United's games in midfield? It's just
which is the
ridiculous.
toughest position
Yeah.
probably on the pitch, right? As CDM.
And he's probably
Yeah.
had one bad game. Like in all the
Yeah,
games
that
he's
West Ham
played.
game is the only one I can think of where he
Yeah.
missed a pass or something like that.
Yeah.
But
And but he's had a bad game because he missed one pass. Like that is the whole point,
yeah,
right?
exactly, exactly. Honestly, my player of the season for United this year is actually Diego Dallo. I think he's the most improved and been the most consistent player. I think him and Garnacho are touchwood, the only players who have not got injured this season so far. Bruno broke that as well a couple of weeks back. But
Yeah, yeah.
Dallo has improved drastically, and
But do you
I
think
can
Dalo is in the top three in the league?
top three right backs.
Yeah.
Oh, tight one. Who would you put? Would you put Kyle Walker, Trent, maybe? Actually, Pedro
White,
Porro. I
White,
don't rate
Poro.
Benjamin. I don't rate Benjamin White as a right back. I don't know why. I think he's. I don't know. I mean, I just don't rate him. I rate Porro highly. I obviously rate Trent, even though he's not great defensively. But I can see Dallo becoming the night. If he continues like this, I can see him becoming
But how
at least.
old is he? Like how when will you see him continue till?
He's
He's
not that
23,
old,
right?
right? He's early
23.
20s, right? Yeah. So I
Yeah,
mean,
23. Yeah.
so I mean, if he's supported by a better right winger next year, he might be much better.
See,
I'm
that is
not
not
going
happening
there.
at United. I've given up on that hope.
What a right wing jinx?
Yeah.
What if we get
We'll never find a
Olise?
right winger again.
I mean, I can't remember the last right winger we signed. Daniel James. He's also left wing only.
Anthony.
That's now, but before I mean, honestly, before that, I don't know
Before
who there was.
that,
No one,
I don't know
right
who used
winger.
to play there. I can't even remember who used to play there. Ilanga.
Lingard, Elanga, all of them used to play on right wing. Mata used to play there actually for a
Yeah.
considerable time, amount of time. Mata played there, who
Yeah.
I know is your favorite United player of the last one decade.
He got new,
He,
yeah,
he,
misused. Why is he playing right wing, man? I can run faster than him. And they're
who Mata,
playing
right?
him right wing. Yeah.
Yeah, number 10 position. But again, they didn't play that formation then. For some strange reason. Anyway, just
Yeah.
quickly, last thing, Parth, what are your expectations from this summer's transfer window in terms of recruitment, etc.? What would you do?
I don't know at all, right, what these guys are going to come in, what is the budget. But if it was up to me, I would buy like, you buy people like Olise, right? Like 40, 50 million proven talents in the league who you know
Yeah,
will do well in this league because again, next 2 years I feel is a rebuilding phase. So you don't need to buy the final product. Like you need the
yeah,
transition players now
yeah, yeah,
who will get us the Champions League, get us close to at least fighting for the title, make us a better team,
yeah.
evolve the playing style that Ten Hag wants to play, which I'm still confused about. But next 2 years, we have to see the evolution of the play, right? Like it can't be, you can't go out and buy the title winning team right now. Those buys will come later. You have to buy those transition players now, is
And
how
I
I would
guess
think
even
about
if
it.
you get a world class player now, it's not like they'll win you the league next year. So there's no point doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So you fix the play, you create your spine, you fix the playing style.
yeah.
And when you want to improve quality in certain areas, then you get in these world class players.
So if there are
But
five
it's a two,
positions
three
that
year
you would
process.
improve, sorry.
It's a 2, 3 year process still,
I mean, we say that
in my
every two,
mind.
3 years, but hopefully it's the last set of 2, 3 years. But yeah, I mean, just last question before we wrap up. Who would, or rather, which five positions would you strengthen this summer, according to you?
Definitely need a center back.
Okay, one or
Definitely
two?
need a CDM. If Licha stays fit, I think we need only one center back. We can keep Maguire and Lindelof
Yeah,
as backup. And
yeah,
Kambala is also there. So I think it's fine. We need one
yeah.
RCB,
So one
one CDM for
RCB,
sure.
one CDM for sure. Yeah, agreed.
CDM for sure. One striker for sure.
Okay,
Backup striker, maybe, or first
no
striker. I
left,
don't know. Like
no left back.
left back, I don't understand what is happening in Malaysia or Shaw. We definitely need left back. I completely forgot.
We
Maybe we need two left
definitely,
backs.
yeah,
We need two left
honestly,
backs.
it's just ridiculous. It's just
But who's in
ridiculous.
the academy? I think Harry Amas is doing really well. So maybe
Harry
he
Amas,
steps
so
up.
which is why one centre back is good. Harry Amas is, I mean, unless we again sell him somewhere, but he has a future. Looks like he has a future. He
Yeah.
crosses very similar to Shaw, etc. Overlapping runs. I mean, he's done well for the juniors this year anyway, right? So yeah,
Yeah. We won everything there. The under
yeah,
18s. And
great.
definitely a right winger. Right winger, I don't know what the hell is happening if we'll buy
I,
someone or not.
I think right winger will be our first purchase this summer. I
Olise.
am, yeah,
Olise.
I'm slightly optimistic about Olise. There's too much noise. You know, if you think about it, towards the end of last season, there was a lot of chatter on Twitter about McAllister going to Liverpool before the season finished, and right after
Yeah.
the season
Yeah.
finished, he went to Liverpool. So I'm hoping something
Mhm.
similar with Olise happens because I'm seeing similar trends on Twitter at least for him.
Which also means one of Garnacho or Rashford goes to the bench, by the
True. I didn't think of that.
way.
I didn't think of. I don't mind starting the season with Rashford on the bench. Honestly, he needs to prove himself, man. Come on, he can't have one
Yeah.
good season, have three bad seasons again, have one good season, have three bad seasons. I'm sick of that, honestly.
True. True.
Great, Parth. Thank you so much for coming on this show.
My
It's been an
pleasure.
absolute pleasure. Um, I hope to have you back very soon, discussing probably United again, or football, or something related to sports. But yeah, any closing comments from your side?
No, no, just best of luck with this, man. I hope this becomes the most watched football slash sports channel in the world. And we'll try our best to make it happen.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, yeah, that was that. Hope you enjoyed the episode and some of the key factors that Parth and I discussed. Feel free to share your views on Manchester United season in the comments as well. I will be back with more content and more guests very soon. Till then, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and spread the love.